Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something absolutely wild. We're unpacking the stark contrasts between the meticulously crafted state mythology and the grim daily realities of the world's most isolated nation, North Korea. We're going to see exactly how this country operates under a totally unique set of cultural, political, and daily life anomalies that completely set it apart from literally anywhere else on the globe. Today, we're peeling back the layers in 3 parts. First up, the mythical leaders. Second, life under the blackouts. And finally, the architecture of illusion. All right, let's jump right into section 1, the mythical leaders and their divine facade. So we got to start with the state founder, Kim Il-sung. According to official records, he passed away back in 1994, but incredibly, he remains the eternal president. He officially holds the title of head of state to this very day. It instantly sets the baseline for a political system that literally defies mortality just to maintain its absolute grip on authority. And the state propaganda surrounding his successor, Kim Jong-il, takes this mythology to a whole other level. State records officially claim his birth was heralded by celestial signs, specifically a glowing star and a double rainbow. Oh, and it gets better. They reported he achieved superhuman early development, literally learning to walk at just 3 weeks old. Why does this matter to us? Well, it perfectly illustrates how the regime uses these wild mythological narratives to elevate its leaders from mere politicians into living, breathing deities in the minds of its citizens. Now, 1,500. Just let that number sink in for a second. To really grasp the sheer scale of the state media's claims, it was officially reported that Kim Jong-il wrote exactly 1,500 books in a mere 3-year period. If you do the math on that, that is more than a book a day. The propaganda even extends into straight-up biological and athletic impossibilities. The supreme leaders were actually presented by state media as so physically perfect that they never needed bathroom breaks for bodily functions. Yep, you heard that right. Add to that the official claim that Kim Jong-il hit 11 holes in one during his very first time playing golf. The big takeaway here is the terrifying power of total information control. When a regime controls the truth, it can make the impossible the official record. Moving on to section 2, life under the blackout. Let's look at the reality of control. When you look at the region from space at night, the severe infrastructure differences become absolutely glaring. While neighboring South Korea and China are these brightly illuminated grids of modern, bustling civilization, North Korea appears as this vast, dark void wedged right between them. It is a literal and figurative blackout. And this strict control extends heavily into culture and information too. Global norms, they simply do not apply here. Blue jeans are famously banned because the state views them as a dangerous symbol of American capitalist influence. K-pop music from the South, strictly forbidden. And the internet? Citizens do not have access to the global web at all. Instead, they're restricted to a closed, entirely government-controlled internal network known as Kwangmyang. But the true bedrock of all this societal control is a draconian legal framework known as songbun. It's a system dictating 3 generations of punishment for political offenses. It operates entirely on the terrifying principle of collective family guilt, completely binding the fate of entire families to the actions of just one single individual. Let's break down exactly how this works in practice. So, if a single citizen commits an offense, that's step 1, they are sent to a political prison camp. But because of songbun, the law cascades right through the family tree. Step 2 means their children are imprisoned right alongside them. And step 3, their grandparents are imprisoned as well. A single infraction condemns the past, present, and future of an entire bloodline. As grim as it is, it's an incredibly effective mechanism for ensuring total compliance across the population. Now, the lack of modern infrastructure also dictates everyday city life in some pretty unique ways. Historically, intersections in the capital, Pyongyang, completely lacked traffic lights. Instead, they were directed by young, rigorously selected, and highly idolized female traffic officers. It's a striking example of human labor and strict choreography being utilized as a physical symbol of state order, precisely where modern tech was lacking. All right, let's head into our final section, Section 3, the architecture of illusion, focusing on the built environment. The sheer scale of the architectural deception here is massive. Take the Ryugyong Hotel in Pyongyang, often called the Hotel of Doom. It's this colossal 105-story pyramid-shaped building where construction started all the way back in 1987. It totally dominates the city's skyline, yet it holds a really bizarre record. It remains the world's tallest unoccupied and unfinished building. It is literally 105 stories of completely empty space, just standing there as a towering monument to ambition over reality. Similarly, right near the border with South Korea sits Kijang-dong. Its intended purpose was to look like a prosperous utopia to lure in defectors. But the reality? It is a multi-million-dollar, completely uninhabited fake town. It was built entirely as a theatrical facade just to broadcast a false image of prosperity to the outside world. Now check this out. 100,000. This number brilliantly illustrates the unbelievable scale of state orchestration when it comes to human infrastructure. It represents the number of performers in the famous Arrearing Mass Games. Over 100,000 citizens engaging in highly synchronized gymnastics, collectively holding up colored flipbooks to create these giant, intricate propaganda murals. In these games, the individual is completely subsumed by the state to create one massive, flawless, unified image. Finally, even the functional, everyday infrastructure serves a dual, incredibly strategic purpose. The Pyongyang metro system isn't just a commuter transit network. It was intentionally built insanely deep beneath the earth so that it can double as a massive nuclear fallout shelter. It basically acts as a daily, physical reminder to the citizenry of the constant, looming threat of war dictated by the regime. Which brings us to our final thought. When we step back and look at the empty 105-story hotels, the multi-million-dollar fake cities, and that deeply entrenched mythology, it leaves us pondering a pretty critical question. If a nation's greatest monuments are built for an audience of none, how long can the illusion truly last? What you should really take away from this explainer is that North Korea's isolation isn't just some political stance. It's a meticulously constructed, physical and psychological reality for millions of people, sustained by the sheer force of contrast between myth and truth. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this complex topic. Keep questioning, keep learning,